All right, YouTube. Welcome back to another Rob Hill YouTube experience. We're back. We are back. So, since I suck at making YouTube videos and haven't made one in a very long time, let's recap. Did the competition I was talking about doing way back in the last video. Numbers were not as high as what I thought they were going to be, but at the same time, still had a phenomenal session, or phenomenal meet, I should say. I squatted 628, benched 446, deadlifted 650. Basically, all those things are, all those are meet PRs except for my squat, but I was a whole weight class lighter, so to only lose 5 kilos in my squat was very nice. Other than that, really, I have no complaints. I was the best total I've ever put up, a whole weight class lighter than what I was a year ago. So I'm weighing about 242 now instead of 275. And yeah, actually gained strength while losing weight, which was phenomenal. I'm 100% going to make a YouTube video about how I was able to maintain / gain strength while cutting 30 some odd plus pounds, just because I feel like it's a very good idea to like throw all that into like a video to post on YouTube. It gives other people a little bit of advice, those who want to cut down some weight and, you know, still power lift and still do stuff at a decent level. So, I mean, I feel like I have enough data from, you know, my own cut and my own spreadsheets that I made for cutting weight and maintaining strength and stuff like that in the program I wrote, where I could probably put out a pretty educational and pretty solid YouTube video. So figured, why not? Now let's get on to the real nitty gritty stuff. I'm not powerlifting right now. Stopped powerlifting a little while ago. Still training squat, bench, deadlift, still training, you know, everything else, but I figured I wanted to give it a little bit of a break, a little bit of a rest on my mental health. So been powerlifting for the past 5-6 years. Don't really want to keep doing it right now. I eventually do want to get back to it, but I just want to be more functional in strength sports / just strength training. So more strongman stuff, more just overall trying to be just a stronger individual, move better, feel better, look better, things like that. So I guess that's kind of where the YouTube video is gonna, the YouTube channel is gonna change up to, is gonna be more of just like a strength enthusiast channel instead of just strictly powerlifting channel, if that makes sense. Now, what that means, I'm still kind of like quote unquote powerlifting, where I still try to pull my first rep on deadlifts hook grip. But then I use straps on my other reps, and I'm not really too worried about it. I stopped using the stiff bar. I use the deadlift bar right now because that's what they use in strongman. And I kind of figured if I'm going to do this little break, I eventually want to do a strongman competition. Figured, why not? I don't have the best frame for it and stuff, but just to kind of get my feet wet, try it out, do a different sport for once in my life. Figured it would not be a bad idea to try to do a strongman, like just one local strongman competition. Probably be kind of fun. So I got a new gym membership. I've been going to a new gym, MaxFit in Bridgeton. I used to go to QSS until I decided that I kind of just don't want to powerlift anymore. Then I kind of just fell off the face of the earth. You know, I dropped my coach, dropped nutrition, dropped all that stuff. And I really just wanted to focus on myself because I figured I had enough data to get me through that prep, which I did. And then now I want to kind of experiment with myself on certain things, like how, you know, how the deadlift bar affects my training, how long it takes me to recover from certain things. Just, I want to do it all myself, so then I don't have to keep having somebody coach me through it. And then whenever I decide to coach other people through it, I can look back on the data that I have from people that are similar to my weight and stuff and see how long it takes to, you know, recover from certain things, recover from this heavy of a deadlift, recover from, you know, XYZ sets of, you know, lat pull down, pull-ups, etc. So figured it wouldn't be bad to just, you know, research on myself and do a little experimenting and see where the hell things can go. Because, I mean, that's really what training's about, I feel like, especially in an off-season. So with that being said, I'm not doing any powerlifting meets for 2026. I strictly want to focus on just building up raw strength on squat, bench, deadlift. Might mess around with overhead press a little bit. Definitely want to do some other things like Viking press, sandbag carries. Experiment with those things. For once in my life, I'm actually adding in core work. I want to see if that translates over in any way, shape, or form to the big three directly and makes my brace any better than what it already is. I'm cutting weight as well, but I've only reduced my calories by like 200-300, so it's more or less I just want to keep cutting down a little bit of weight, and even if the scale doesn't change, as long as I'm seeing those micro adjustments to my physique, I'm very, very happy. don't really have any other expectations. I'm cool with staying 242 for the foreseeable future as long as I can actually get lean. But if I can't get lean at 242 and I need to go down to 220, by all means I will. So it's kind of where my mind's at, kind of where everything has been for the past couple months that I have not been posting on YouTube, and figured everyone should get a little bit of an update on the updated Rob Hill YouTube experience, if that makes sense. And with all that being said, I figured I'd just add on to specificity is kind of cool when it comes to powerlifting. You know, the kilo plates, the power bars, the Alico bars, you know, it's all cool. But let's be real. If you're not a super high level powerlifter, if you're still an intermediate powerlifter, which I honestly think I still kind of am, a little bit intermediate, there's always more stuff I can learn. You know, I'm not the strongest person in the world. I think that when it comes to like my bench, I'm advanced, but my other two lifts are still, you know, they're still in the high intermediate phase, almost advanced. I feel like once I hit that like closer to that 700 mark for both squat and deadlift, that's when I'll consider myself advanced on those two lifts. But pushing 500 or being close to a 500 pound bench is I would say pretty advanced. Yeah, a lot of y'all are killing like a good amount of your gains just by, you know, only bench squat deadlifting, only on power bars, and, you know, using kilos only, and, you know, not training hard, and, you know, not pushing the accessory work. Some people I've coached up people who have, you know, only wanted to do squat, bench, deadlift. They skip accessories all the time, and then they wonder why they feel like shit all the time. You need to hit those accessories. You need to train hard, especially at a young age. You need to push hard, and you need to push to be a better lifter. And a lot of people are just lazy on it. They want results instantly, but they don't put in the work to get those results. So it's kind of where I'm at, and where my mindset is right now, is just train hard as fuck, lock in, and even if you powerlift, who cares if you like, don't just worry about only squat, bench, and deadlifting. You could still do things like, you could still do like the fucking sandbag carries and shit, and still have some type of translation over into your strength. Like, that's all real, very, very real things that can help an individual, especially at a young age. Like, you can build so much natural raw strength from doing all these things that will eventually translate over to when you go hyper specific into only powerlifting training. Just my thoughts, you know, just throwing them out there. Stop being a bitch. And yeah. All right, so a little Rob Hill YouTube experience update on the training. We had deadlifted 620 for 3, which is a little crazy to me. Deadlift bar is cheating for sure, but we're going to rock out with it for the next couple of blocks. Bench 440, and we squatted 550 for 3. So we're off to a really good start, and I like the momentum. But next week, I'm kind of hoping we could bounce up a little more numbers, maybe hit like towards like 455, 460 bench, 565 if I'm being realistic on squat. I would love 585. We'll see what's there. And then deadlift, I have no idea what's there. It was hard, but the week before was a grinder on my third rep. And then this week I went 20 pounds up, and it was easier the third rep than the week before. So I might just send 640, see what happens there. And if I hit 640 for 3, that'd be a huge PR. So we're going to see what's there and rock out with it.
Yay, training. I went to Worlds. That was cool. Not a big deal though.